where I have boxes of D10s, and I do not know where my D10s have gone.
Hello, and welcome to Echoes of Legend on Leashing Barguests. I am your game master for today, Fishy, and today I will be guiding 3 players through session 2 of a campaign in my own Obsession system, which I published in 2012 to a massive round of complete ignorance by the entire world. Good at writing game rules, very bad at advertising and marketing. So this is the first time that it has seen really public exposure at all. With me today are 3 lovely players, and I'm going to go through them in a slightly different order to what I did last session. But what I will do is I'll actually make sure that they're all unmuted. They are all unmuted. Good. Just wanted to check that because I didn't want to start talking to them and then have them actually be totally silent. So, first of all is the newest member of our little group. Newest to gaming, youngest, newest to being on this or any other channel that I frequent. Alia, welcome aboard.
Hello. Yes, I am Alia, aka Lex, aka the Busky. I have a lot of names. As Fishy said, I am newest to most of this. I am playing Ez, or Ezra. Hello, Gremlin. And they are, well, they're a disaster human as usual.
I don't know if you
Throw
know
me
how
in a
to play
life
any
path
other
system.
characters. Or create any other characters, at least.
Yeah, put me in a life path system, I end up with a disaster human. That's how it goes.
Gaming is like writing. Play what you know.
Hey! Well, hey, I have fantasy grounds. Finally.
Oh, excellent. That's good to hear. And we also have with us, and currently visible on screen, Chrono Magistrate. Hello, Chrono.
Thank you very much for running this and having us on. Hi, I am Anil, aka Chrono, aka Chrono Magistrate, a chill variety streamer that I'm sure many of you know. Have been on in a couple of Fishy's campaigns before, if you haven't seen me before. I am playing Kalwin, a ranger, hunter, archer, gamekeeper, kind of your outdoorsy person with a bow, basically.
Demonstrating once again that even when away from her keyboard, she can still be heard on the microphone.
Yeah. Actually, I certainly realized like that sounds almost like a certain internet personality. I assure you, I did not model this character after a certain other D&D Ranger Archer guy. No, Kalwin is the son of a courtier from one of the Greater Kuntime princedoms, and has headed to this sparkling new continent in search of adventure and new animals to sketch and investigate. For he is also what would be in our world an amateur zoologist as well.
Excellent stuff.
Cool.
Are you back, Drat?
I think that timing is impeccable.
That is absolutely perfect. And so, yes, the final member of our little group is Dratacup. Hello, Dratacup.
Hi there. Oh, gosh. Am I reintroducing the character?
Yes, tell people who you're playing.
Wouldn't it have been good to leave the character sheet up?
Might have helped.
Okay. I am Dratacup. I cannot claim to be a chill variety streamer because at the moment I'm not chill. But I'm a variety streamer. And games master and writer and God knows what. However, at the moment I am playing Zarin, who is a pirate queen in training. That's her goal in life. Comes from an organised crime family which I suppose is superior to being from a disorganized crime family.
Of course.
And yes, and has people out to get her. I think there's a queuing system for people who want her head, or possibly other body parts. So she is traveling from Lesserkundheim to the new lands. Sound right?
Yeah, it does indeed. So,
And
the
dragging along
situation
her younger
is
brother.
the situation is that our characters are part of the latest wave of people coming from the old world, for want of a better term. The continents primarily, the countries, let's not go continents, let's go countries, of Greater and Lesser Kundheim, Herital, and Astona, or rather Lunma, which is Astona is the continent, having said I wasn't going to do continents. And they are sailing out to the new world, the new frontier, as it's commonly referred to, which is actually an old frontier that's been reopened. An empire some couple of centuries ago withdrew from this newly colonized land, leaving it partly in the claws of a dragon, the last of the great dragons, which dwelled in the ruins of the city of Rodulium. And then that was about, I think, 300 or 400 years ago without looking at my timeline. And then about 200 years ago, people started coming back to the continent, initially to the city, or to the region known as Kalwin's Bay, where two settlements quickly formed, towns called Newton and Redwolf, and eventually, as they grew, they merged together to form the city named for the area of Kalwin's Bay. And that is where our player characters are now arriving. Last week, we introduced them through some little role-playing scenes on the boat, on the ship, on the way over, and now they are arriving. So, after more than 10 days at sea, actually, let's have some sound effects. I have sound running in the background, but you can't hear it on stream, so it would be good if I turned that on. And if it's either too quiet or too loud, let me know. I don't want it to be too loud, because I don't want it to disturb us, but there's just some ambient effects that hopefully will now be coming out on stream. After more than 10 days at
I
sea,
noticed diving in.
the long journey from Valyar is over, and your conveyance, a trade vessel called the Green Rose, has docked at the harbour in Kalwin's Bay. Formed by the merging of Newton and Redwolf, the first new settlements on Goredrosal at the start of what is now being called the Age of Rebirth, Kalwin's Bay is a thriving port town with goods going out and new settlers coming in all of the time. The dockfront and the open plaza behind it are a bustling hive of activity, and you are hastened away from the ship and out of the way as Captain Arius orders the unloading of the trade goods and supplies which shared your journey. The buildings of the city are an interesting blend of the architectural styles of Herital, Lunma, and Kundheim. Mostly half-timbered constructions, as in the towns and cities of your homes, but with detail and decoration which prevents you from feeling quite at home here. The crowds surrounding you are similarly varied, a mix of people from all of your homelands, wearing clothing in all styles, and often mixing the designs from Herital with those of Kundheim, or those of Kundheim with features from Lunma. As you look around your new environment, you see that there are two wooden open-sided pavilions in the plaza, and that these seem to be in common use as stopping places for those finding their way or just taking a break. To determine what else each of you notice, I'd like for each of you to make a combined roll using observation and the notice speciality of perception. Remembering that with a combined roll, you still get to roll your attribute if you don't have the skill. And if you have perception but a different speciality, you get half of that value to roll. So you're looking for your observation save value plus however many ranks you have in notice.
So 3 plus 4.
And I shall swap us over at this point to the image of the docks, which I will
And
share
as a
with the
reminder,
players.
we are looking for dice over 6, aren't we?
It's over 4. Unless I say otherwise, it's over 4.
Sorry, what speciality was it you were after?
Notice.
notice. Okay.
Wow.
Sorry, I was having to shovel away 3 different layers of windows to get at what I needed. A lot of excavation going on.
On a dice pool of 7, I got 2.
Oof. Ouch.
Oh dear God, I don't have that. Why do I not? How have I got no notice? Oh, I have. Thank God for that. I've got perception awareness, not perception notice. Okay,
Right,
no, that's
yeah.
fine.
So you'll get half of your awareness ranks in a notice roll.
I was just trying to work out how the hell I've managed to miss that. It's a fairly fundamental flaw.
And I shall get out my Rocketbook. We are not sponsored by Rocketbook, although if Rocketbook are watching and would like to.
Yes. Yes, if Rocketbook would like to get in touch, I think we can put some definite streams together, shouting about their benefits. Okay,
2 for
so
Kalwin.
half the value works out, which is these mathematically rounding, so it works out to 2 plus. So that's pull of 5, of course it is. So that one. No, okay. However, right. Looking for 4s, did you say?
Yeah, so over 4, 5 and above.
Right. So not looking for 4s, looking for 5s. Right, okay.
5 up.
Right, that's fine.
This has
Yeah.
been a long-running debate between Drat and I that the mechanics of obsession use a threshold number which you have to beat, not a target number that you have to equal. And we have discussed this many times over the years.
No.
There are mechanical reasons why I went with the threshold number. It's partly because I can use certain numbers as threshold numbers without needing to adjust their value.
Oh no, I know.
Was that
why you
was
do
that
it?
2 from you, Alia? Did I just hear?
Oh, sorry, not that.
I have 6, 6, and 7.
Also 3.
Sorry, I
Okay.
just managed
And
to cut my lip.
oh dear. What were your successes? Disappearing Drat?
Me, 3.
Yeah.
Sorry,
3. Okay, so 2, 3, and 3.
955.
Now, also quick reminder that 10s explode in this game. If you roll a 10, it is a success and you get to roll it again, but only once. Right, so what I'm doing with this is a mechanic that I came up with originally for investigation scenarios when searching for clues, but I thought I would adapt it to use here. I have a number of things that you can spot, rated at level 1, 2, or 3. 1 success essentially buys you a level 1. 2 successes buys you a level 2. And 3 successes, surprise, surprise, buys you a level 3. You can also team up with other characters and combine your successes. But it's not worth doing on the low value things, because you need to do that. You need to throw in basically throw away an additional success from one of you. So that means it costs 3 successes to buy a level 2, which means that unless all 3 of you throw a success in on that, you're going to end up just somebody's going to spend the 2 successes they could have used to get it in the first place. But theoretically, you could throw in a success each to get a level 2 if that was the way you wanted to do it. I'm going to tell you how many things there are so you can make decisions as to what you want. There's only 1 level 3 item. So 2 of you could afford to buy that, but there is no point. I would recommend that you kind of metagame this a little bit. Between you, decide that one of you's getting the level 3 and the other one can get a level 1 and a level 2, for example. And then, Chrono, you can either get a level 2 or you can get 2 level 1s. So there are 1, 2, 3 level 2 things. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 level 1 things, and I think, and 1 level 3, and I think you've probably rolled enough to get all of them. I was looking at this without actually doing the math.
I'll take a level 2 since that's what I can afford, and makes it easier for you all.
Okay, I'm going to find out what you all are buying first, because that way I can read through the level 1s first and build up to the better stuff. So, Corvin's getting a level 2. What are we getting from Ez and... How was your character's name pronounced again?
What was it? Zoan.
Zoan. Okay.
It's definitely not Sharon Twisted.
Definitely not, no.
Sif. I'm just wondering, I mean, I've rolled a level 3. I'm just wondering, do we abandon the level 1s? Because I got 3 successes, so... They could get
as I say,
3,
if one of you takes a level 3, the other one can get a level 2 and a level 1, so you'll still get one of the level 1s. Okay. Even if you do that. Or you could just skip the more detailed thing and get a broader view by taking more of the level 1s. It's entirely up to you guys.
Don't encourage us to make decisions, for God's sake, man. Have you not learned?
What happened to a railroading GM?
Yeah, come on. We demand guide rails.
Hey, I am one of those people. I am one of those GMs who maintains that railroading is a good thing, provided the players don't see it happening. That's the only thing wrong with railroading, is if you get caught at it.
Look, invisible walls are bad. Invisible walls hidden inside fences are fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's video game logic.
No. Sniper Elite time. You cannot hurdle this fence. Just decide it's made of thorns or something.
Yeah. It's just an inch too tall, even though it looks exactly the same as the one you could hurdle further along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or The Witcher, where you just pass out, I guess, and just teleport.
So I'll tell you what. It seems to me like, however way you do this, you're going to get at least one level 1. So I shall give you the first of the level 1s.
Yeah.
Now, my decision has to be, do I give you the most plot-related level 1, or do I give you something that is purely atmosphere and lore? A very interesting question. I think I'm going to not tell you what decision I've made. So, yeah, the first thing that somebody notices, either Ezra or Zoa, Zoan, is that scattered here and there among the people on the docks are bored-looking guards in leather jackets and helmets, each holding a spear. Each of them seems to be guarding a specific spot, item, or individual, rather than keeping the peace or watching the crowds.
Oh, are they now?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. I'm wondering what
which
kind
one
of
of us would
spot,
actually notice
item,
that
or
first.
individual they are guarding. And are they guarding them all for the same people?
So, the question I have to ask now is, are you getting another 2 level 1s, or are you getting 2 of the level 2s?
What, do I not get the 3?
Feel free to describe. Well, yes, you're getting a 3. Somebody's getting a 3, and the other one is either getting 3 level 1s, or a level 1 and a level 2. So you've had 1 level 1.
Gotcha.
You now get and you can decide this as a group. It doesn't have to be. If you're taking the level 3 Drattercup, then it doesn't have to be Alia who necessarily makes this decision. Although, in case of disagreement, since it's Alia's character, I will let Alia have veto over the group decision. But you can decide as a group whether you want 3 more, the remaining 3 level 1s, or whether you want 2 of the remaining 3 level 1s, or whether you want a level 2.
I think I'll take the mixed bag.
Maybe we
and
ought to
Drut
go
can
for
have the level 3.
the widest range of stuff. Because what we don't know may bite us on the backside and kill us dead. Says the person who has a vague idea how the wind system in this game works.
But level 3 detailed knowledge would still be useful, probably.
shall we go with the level ones? And
So you want the broad view rather than
yeah,
the more detail?
so, yeah, it's entirely up to people. We're getting A level 2. We're getting V level 3. We may as well bulk up on the level ones as much as we can.
Okay. So the second
Maybe
thing that you
below.
notice from level 1 is that there is a woman with a small hand cart handing out pasties and cups of small beer in return for a few coins. Some of her customers are new arrivals, fresh off the boats, but most are dock workers and porters taking a break between tasks. And you also notice a group of scruffy men nearby who seem to be watching the crowd of new arrivals. As you watch, they turn and head purposefully, but not directly, towards the alley between a warehouse and what seems to be a mercantile office. And I shall indicate on Fantasy Grounds where that is. So it is this alley here, assuming that you can see
Okay.
the map. I'm showing 2 of you as seeing the map, but I only have 2 icons there, so I think it looks like either Drut or Chrono isn't seeing the map.
I'm seeing the map.
Yep, okay.
And to prove that I'm seeing the
And I'm
map,
just going to ping that again while looking at OBS so that I can check that that is showing up on OBS nicely. Good.
It's me trying to work out where the ping mode had gone. I thought, oh my god, he's turned it off. No, I've just minimised the toolbar. So there.
Yes.
Was it that one or was it that one?
It was this one.
It was that one. Okay.
So this is the warehouse. And this appears to be some sort of mercantile office here next to it. And it is the alley between the 2 that these men are headed towards.
Do I get a strong sense of extremely dodgy, possibly in a related profession to my
Do you have a skill that you think would be appropriate to determine such things?
Interesting.
And I'm not going to narrow down and say you must roll intuition, type things. I am going to say, what do you think you could use that would be appropriate? Certainly, streetwise would be appropriate for a situation like this, but it's by far from the only thing.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm guessing that nuts indicates that streetwise is not a skill you have.
No, it's not that. It's what happens when you accidentally close the window you're reading.
Actually, could I get a like intuition? I could take intuition streetwise.
Streetwise, of course I have bloody streetwise.
Intuition streetwise would be a very reasonable thing for this.
So would street knowledge, or would it be something else in that category?
Yeah. I think probably street knowledge is the most likely for those, because they're not from one culture, so there would no point rolling that, and they're definitely not political, so that doesn't seem appropriate.
3+1, I get 4 dice on that.
Urban survival actually.
Urban survival is another one that would work.
That is 2.
So, and that's intuition based, isn't it?
And that would be intuition, You can argue for something else if you want to, but intuition is the most obvious one.
No. On the grounds that my intuition is about my best.
Also gonna follow in on this.
So that gives me, again, a 5, because I've got streetwise street knowledge of 2. Assuming the street knowledge speciality is applicable here.
Yeah, street knowledge would be the correct speciality for this.
Okay. My God, I've actually got the right skill. Try not to faint.
I think we all do.
Bloody hell, I've got their number.
Drop dice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 3 successes.
Hang on a minute. Because I'm rolling 5, I've only got 4 double D10s, and I didn't look at the inside one on that one. Okay.
Yeah, I have 5, 7, 8.
Oh,
I get 2 successes on 4 dice, so I get expectation.
Right. Okay. Hang on a minute.
Oh, I got 3 successes on 4
Let
dice.
me just roll the other 2 dice.
Actually, I'm slightly under expectation.
So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, of which 2 exploded.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Sorry, 7. My apologies. Of which 2 exploded.
so you only needed 1 success for this. It was a standard
Oops.
success target of 1, because it's not that difficult to figure out. Which means that at the minimum, we got an adequate success. Then we also got a fair success, and then Sharon just
Strut.
blasted up to a superb success straight away. Now, in other circumstances, there might be specific things that I could let you spend those extra successes on. In this case, it is
Yeah.
just giving you
Yeah.
a more definite feeling. I suppose I could apply them to give you a little bit more information on the men and do it that way. So they definitely are up to no good. All of them get the feeling that these people are up to no good.
Right.
Drut, what I'm going to do is I am going to take essentially 3 of your dice. So you still get the same, these are definitely up to no good information as everybody else, but I'm going to take 3 of your successes and I am going to spend them to give you an additional piece of information from the original list.
Okay.
And it's going to be a piece of information that is relevant to these men,
Okay.
essentially. So it's what I probably would have given Corvin, but now I shall give Corvin a different piece of information, and you can see that among the crowds is one man who looks a little lost. He's clearly Lunman from his looks and clothing, and must be new in town. After looking around in perplexity for a bit, he tentatively heads down the same alley just before the fellows that you have spotted turn and head in that rather, they weave a non-straight path towards exactly the same alley. The other 2 have not spotted their presumably prey, but with your fantastic roll, I will give you that additional piece of information.
I know an opportunity when I see one.
Yeah. Corvin probably would have noticed that, but he got distracted. He saw them, they were pointed out, but he was a bit distracted by a small group of children, averaging around 10 years old, perhaps, and with their heritage largely undeterminable beneath grime and a mishmash of threadbare clothing, who are playing a game of tag on the far edge of the docks. They're using the crowd as cover while they duck in and out of busy workers and uncertain new arrivals.
Playing. Yeah, definitely not the local thieves. You know what? I feel like taking a stroll. Do you want to take a stroll? Let's take a stroll.
Sure.
And I think you're still actually due a level 1, aren't you? That I haven't yet given you.
Yeah.
I gave you, or did I? Nope, you've had your 3 level 1s. You had the guards, you had the woman with the handcart, and then you had the group of scruffy, definitely not thugs, honest, they're not. So that just leaves us with one last level 3 piece of information to give you.
Okay.
Lurking outside that mercantile office that I pointed out earlier, the one next to the alleyway, and watching the entrance to that alleyway, is a nondescript man with Kundaimer features. He is doing nothing to draw attention to himself, but he's also doing nothing else, except primarily looking in the direction of that alley. Not all the time. He's looking around at the crowd, he's looking back at the alley, he's looking around at the crowd.
Look at me, look at you. Yeah.
So those are the pieces of information that you spotted beyond just the general melange of people busying themselves doing things, some coming off boats, some going about their business, unloading boats, others obviously, we've got an example trying to sell things to people who are coming off boats, or indeed to the boats themselves. There are people coming both ways from the boats, unloading goods, and also people bringing supplies towards the boats, all that kind of stuff. So it's a busy dockyard.
Are we still near either Arius or Udrit?
They're on the boat. If we assume, I didn't put one actually onto the map, but if we assume that they are tied up sort of here and unloading onto this wharf. So you would have come down and would be somewhere around here-ish while making these observations. The alley being over here, bloke lurking outside here. So you're not massively far away from them, but at the same time, they are busy overseeing
we're
things,
away.
and it might take time to get their attention.
We're further away than I thought. In which case, I just have a quick look around and tap, like as a dock worker or something. Someone is coming past me. Someone who looks like knows the area.
Yeah.
I just tap them on the shoulder and point in the direction. Excuse me, can you tell me just what's in that direction, please?
That way. There's a small marketplace through there. Is there somewhere particular you're looking for?
Oh, no. I just wondered what was in the general vicinities that I couldn't quite see. But thank you. It's fine.
I'm actually going to say, where would be a good place to jump someone? If I were of a criminal mentality, why would I find it convenient?
Wait, you are. You're a wannabe pirate queen.
Shut up. That's different.
You're just out of your element here because they're not trying to jump someone with a boat.
Yeah, she's yes, and she's
Now
a
imagine
pirate
a
queen for
pirate
political
ship,
reasons.
okay.
Yes. Kadoink splash. Kadoink splash. Okie dokie. Yeah. I think Zoan is actually going to go with her initial. I think we should go for a walk. Let's take a walk because somebody's about to get jumped, and either he's going to be worth jumping, or he might be worth not allowing to get jumped, and then we can find out what's going on in this town.
Okay.
Okay.
Involving ourselves with the locals like that, but sure.
Yeah, it's always
Not
nice
wanna
to
be,
meet,
gonna be.
but,
Okay, yeah, sorry, I apologise. Yes, gonna be pirate queen. No, let's get that correct. Let's get that
yeah, I
straight.
think positive. And she will indeed beckon Partik to come with us. The brother, because let's face it, she's not leaving him alone.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea.
Unless she just sends him off to get like 6 pasties or something.
Look, he's a 15-year-old boy. I don't expect him to do that and not get into some sort of trouble on a busy dock. So.
This is
There
true.
is that, yeah,
you're
which is the
definitely
other
best
reason.
off keeping him close by.
Yeah, and since I don't have one of those retractable dog leads, baby reins.
Okay, as you approach the alley, the man that you saw lurking outside the mercantile office.
Who, by the way, I will have pointed out to the others. Both him and the presumably muggers. As we walk.
Because you're all aware of him and you're sort of paying attention to what he's doing as you approach the alley, it's very obvious to you that his actions are a direct response to your approaching the alley. And what he does is he coughs loudly and chucks a small stone into the alley. He's positioned where he can throw it at an angle that he throws it with some force, and it hits the far wall of the alley from his point of view. So, map south wall, bounces off, and clatters into a small pile of metal fragments, making a surprising amount of noise. He then takes off, map northeast into the crowd at a run. The sound echoes through the narrow space, attracting the attention of the 5 people about a third of the way through it. The lead man, a Lunman by his dress.
Before you continue, can I just
Yeah.
alter my action a little bit?
Uh-huh.
What I want to do actually is seeing that, seeing the alleyway, not seeing. I kind of before the guy does his action, so I
Right.
don't know what he's doing. I'm actually going to head along. I nod to the other two that I'm going to head along the other side of the warehouse, like the front bit, to circle
Ah.
round.
Sensible.
Okay. Yeah. You can certainly do that. So yeah, you split up and you head down onto the promenade. Splitting the
Yeah.
party is never a bad plan, so this will be fine. And
Well, it's mostly because I have a bow, so I need to be at a further range.
Actually,
as you
given that
cut round
Partik
the
does, I'm going to send him with you.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. 2 in each direction.
Yeah,
And
and he's an archer
yeah,
as well.
Partik is your younger brother, but he's on the verge of manhood in a fantasy
I mean,
medieval
he's
type
15. He's not,
setting.
he's not
So
a child. He's not a baby.
no, he's got all of his backgrounds. In character creation terms, he's got all of his background skills. He just doesn't have any profession skills earned yet. But he's not missing any of those initial level 2 and 3 background skills. So
Yeah.
one of them
I mean,
is
by his
probably
age, I'd have killed.
using a bow.
By his age, I killed at least one of my relatives by that age. So it's
At
fine.
least one.
Yeah,
At least.
but you're a precocious child.
Oh, she was 12. Right. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
So as you come around the bottom corner of the warehouse there, what most catches your attention really is this small building here. It's more like a wooden hut of some kind. It's almost certainly not residential, but more likely to be used for storage. But it backs quite close up against the warehouse. You could squeeze through the gap in between, but because of the squeeze, it would probably be quicker to head around the bottom where there is. I mean, you can't see that there is a road there, but there is actually an open space there.
But from our previous vantage point, we could look. We
Yeah,
looked
you-
in that direction. and
You
saw
quite
the
likely
party.
saw that as you were getting off the
Yeah.
boat. Yes.
So
for the other
and
two,
once we're past the corner of the warehouse, we kind of like speed up a bit because
Yeah.
we know we've got a longer arc to take.
not actually running, but quick walk, light jog, moving in that direction. Yep. Okay.
The slightly raised voice. We should get to our lodgings soon, lad.
We don't want to be late.
Yeah.
Doesn't look at a watch because this is a fantasy medieval setting, but
No, the wrist dial.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. You can get that. You just
Okay.
have to get the angles right.
So in the alley, the lead man, a Lunman by his dress and face, a middle-aged Lunman. This is the one that you saw them follow in here.
Right.
Staggers back against the wall of the building as a second man, perhaps a Heritali, shoves him hard. All of them, barring the apparent victim, look towards you as you enter the alley, alerted by the noise made by the stone, and seem to make a snap decision. You see the lead thug snatch something from the Lumman's chest, and then all 4 of them run for the end of the alley. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask for a roll to see what the timing of Corvin and his companions' arrival is going to be. And again, I'm going to make this a combined roll because you will have, I think, probably agility to work your way through the crowd. But I would probably allow intuition on the basis that it's more, thinking about what would be the best route than ducking around people. Either one would probably work. And if you can think of a suitable skill for moving through crowds, again, I would probably allow streetwise street knowledge. But it's not perfect for this So I think I would
about-
probably also raise the threshold number by 1 under those circumstances.
How about scouting urban survival?
That one I would allow with no modifier to.
How about agility and scouting orienteering?
I think again, I'll let you have orienteering at +1 to the threshold number, or you can take a default from orienteering at half the value and not modify the threshold number. So probably, depending on what level of orienteering you've got, raising the threshold number to 5 might actually be the better chance of success.
Yeah, so that would be 6 up. So,
Yeah. And if you choose that option, because you're making a roll at higher than the normal 4 threshold number, you would get a use on that skill, which is how we start working towards getting improving it.
The alternative would be to say use agility and locate prey. But
I would say that's more for figuring out where they're going to be rather than for actually moving through the crowd.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I will take agility orienteering at the higher threshold number.
Okay.
So that is 4 plus 2
So-
is 6.
How I'm doing this in my head is I'm giving them essentially a lead on you, and each success that you roll will lower their lead by 1.
Okay. So I'm looking for 6 ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an explosion. 4, 5.
5. Okay.
Yep.
You move through that crowd like nobody's business. It might just as well not be there. Now, we can't really tell who's who if I put any tokens on here, because only Ezra's got a portrait. But what I'll do is I will just put Ezra's token at the end of the alley to represent both Ezra and Sharon. And I will just put Corwin's blank token down at the bottom to indicate where you are. And with that roll, I think you are going to be all the way up there. Let's move the map along a little bit. So you're going to have come around and up that little street at the bottom and be coming into the market square here. It's nowhere near as busy as the plaza that you have just left, but there is still a crowd of people in here. And as you get there, you see this group of 4 men come bursting out of the alley end here.
Yeah.
And at this point, let's jump back to the other 2 and see how they are reacting to what they have just seen.
They have all had it away on their heels, yeah?
Yeah, well, they are in you see them turn around, look at you, and immediately make a break for it, apart from the fact that the one who did the shoving snatched something from the guy as he headed out. So he's
Zone is
not
going to
at
run
the
down
front
the
of the
alley.
group, he's in the middle of the group as a result of that delay.
Zoan is going to run down the alley.
Mm-hmm.
What that guy stole, worth having. Do you want it back?
Yes.
Also, has he got any weird spreading blood pools, that kind of thing?
No, he doesn't. At a glance, he does not appear to be injured.
Okay, righto.
This is the
What-
Lumnan.
Yeah. So your country person, who is still sort of leaning up against the wall somewhat, looking a little bit flustered and shocked, doesn't appear to be injured, but does instinctively respond yes when Sharon queries whether he wants whatever it was that they've snatched back. Do I assume that now? Are you following Sharon? Are you doing something different, or are you heading down there in your own time and concentrating more on them than sticking with Sharon?
Ezra follows Sharon.
Was one of
Hears
those
that
names
it's
supposed to be
London.
us?
Hadn't
Because you
been.
just said me twice.
Hears that it's London. Quickly runs past.
Who was that
Not
directed
in a
at?
rush to. Quickly runs past Sharon.
Fish.
Sorry, can we just what? I'll address your question after I hear what Alia was saying.
And is basically
Not
chasing
hearing
the
Alia.
men because.
Oh, can you not
No.
hear us, Drat?
I can hear you. I can hear
Oh.
Fish.
Can you not hear?
I haven't got
Oh,
Alia.
Can you not hear me?
I wasn't talking. Sorry, I
Okay.
wasn't talking over you. I didn't hear
Yeah,
you.
no, that's weird. I had assumed. You know Video Ninja better than me. Is there something that
Yeah.
that I might need to press to have that work? And how come I didn't have to press it for you and Chrono?
No. I will
I
drop
can
out
hear
and drop
them.
back in. And that should sort it. Sorry, I'm hugely apologetic there.
No, that's fine.
I
That's right.
wasn't sure if you were typing and giving chat comments, and I suddenly realised that I got nothing.
Yeah, no, that's a little awkward. I had not realised that for some reason Drut wasn't hearing Alia. That's not ideal. I think I did mention earlier on. This is clearly a technical issues day here at Leashing Buggers.
Stealth technical issues. I didn't even know were technical issues.
Yeah, you didn't even realise the issue was there.
I have
Can
no
you
idea.
now hear?
You haven't-
Yes, you can hear them. Excellent.
Sorry,
Right.
I had maybe they're having a moment and they're doing it in text somewhere, and I was trying to go, okay, is it in Discord? Are they typing in there? And then you said don't talk over them. I'm like, what? That was literally the first time I was going, no.
So to clarify the situation as I understand it, and then if I've got something wrong, you can correct me. What we have at the moment is both of the two of you heading down the alley after the thugs, but rather than just dashing straight past this Lundman, slowing enough to query whether he actually wants the help, whether he wants whatever it is back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And going in the order, Sharon, Ezra.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do
Darwin
is
tends to just assume that she's probably the most bulletproof, arrow stab proof person in any given room. Whether she is or not, who knows?
So I'm going to move your token to roughly where the Lumman is. So at this point, approximately, you are a little over halfway down the alley. The other two are just coming into the marketplace down there, though you two can't see them at the moment, and they obviously can't see you. And the crowd of thugs is bursting out of the alley here into the... It is a crowd. It's not jam-packed, but there are a number of people here. There's a few market sellers. There's no actual stalls set up here, but you have got more people with barrows or baskets who are milling around with the crowd. So they're not staying still and waiting for customers to come to them. They're moving around, approaching people and trying to sell. The rest of the people here are presumably some of them here to buy. Some of them maybe are here for business in one of the surrounding buildings. Hard to say. But there is a crowd that is milling around. And importantly, it is milling. There is a lot of movement here. And that is quite a confusing situation. I'm not going to go into initiative. the tactical environment rules in Obsession are not something that we need to go into for this situation, I think. Instead, I'm going to run this as an abstract chase. So, I'm only going to track the guy at the back of this group. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that he has got a lead on you of 2. And because Chrono rolled so well, it's a lead of 2 from both directions.
Nice.
And we're going to use opposed agility checks for this.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
So I'm just going to bring up a set of stats so that I can roll agility checks for this guy. And the way this is going to work is your checks will compare to his checks, and if you get more successes than him, you'll gain ground. If he gets more successes than you, you will lose ground. There is a slight disadvantage, however, for the fact that you're following. They know where they're going.
Yeah.
They don't have any penalties at all. But you are following. And the way I'm going to work this is that for each person that you're following, your success target goes up by 1. So the chase is following the guy at the back of the group. So just you have a success target of 2, whereas he has a success target of 1. What that means is you need 2 successes to get to actually make any kind of ground, and then everything beyond that is what gets used to see whether you can gain ground.
Okay.
He only needs 1 success, so he's got a better chance of being able to pull away. If you are following behind, such as in Ez's case, then you're following 2 people. You're following Sharon and the guy up ahead. So that means that you actually need 3 successes, not to temporarily lose what you're doing. You're not going to lose Sharon, you'll still be able to follow her, but you might lose track of the guy that she is following unless you get the 3 successes. Right, so I will roll for him, and these dice should come up on screen so that people can see that he has rolled appallingly badly.
And we are back at this is back at a 5 up for me, yes?
Yes, and unless I say otherwise, it will always be, unless I specify otherwise, it will be threshold number of 4, which means 5s and above, and a success target of 1, which means you only need 1 success to succeed. This is a success target of 2, because you're trying to chase him through a crowd, but it's only a 4 threshold number.
I get 4 successes.
Whoa. Okay.
You're
Can
chanting
still
running
count,
through
don't they?
yeah. Running through a herd of wildebeest, you're skilled at this kind of dodging.
I'm used to weaving my way between trees and such in pursuit of...
Yeah.
They
I
can
should
still
definitely-
count as successes before I re-roll them.
A 10 counts as a success and gets to be re-rolled to see if you can get a second success off that die.
Yeah, that
Hang
was
on,
basically...
I'm trying to track this.
That was 3 successes
Okay,
and
so
an explosion
that
on 4
died.
dice.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3,
2
4,
and an explosion.
5.
No soul selling
Okay.
here, Harry.
I have ended with 7 successes.
Oh my god!
You're not allowed to gripe at me, Fish.
So, yeah, I definitely should have given these guys a bigger lead, shouldn't I? Right, so you've got...
only 2 of those were non-explosions. No, 3 of
Wow.
those. 3 of those were non-explosions. I got 3 10s, and all 3 rolled successes as well.
Oh, that's impressive. So what I'm going to do...
Only 1 of my dice. Only 1 die failed.
So you have... Because you're at the back, you had a success target of 2. So the first 2 successes essentially get dropped. The third one is your necessary success to be able to make this. And then you've got all the successes in the world. So 2 of them catch up with the guy, and you still have 2 left over after that. We'll address what can be done with those in a moment.
If you did that, well done.
That was so impressive. It's now driven the other 2 results from my head. So can I go through them again? Can I have Corvin's result first?
I got 4 successes.
Okay, so again, the first one really doesn't count.
Yeah.
Second one is necessary to not get lost in the crowd,
So
and then
I got
2
2
means you catch up with him exactly. He had a 2 lead. He's now got a 0 lead because he only rolled his 1 success that he needed to get through the crowd. So didn't manage to pull away at all. And then Sharon.
I slipped up clearly. I only got 3, one of which was an
You
explosion.
only got 3.
Yeah.
So again, the first success doesn't count. The second one means you don't lose him, but you only gain 1 position on him. So as you are reaching the end of the alley, Ez just blasts past you like a cheetah. And as that happens, you also see Corvin coming up from the south. Now, Ez, you have made an astonishingly good roll. So you've got 2 successes left over. What you can do with those successes is either you can apply them to try and move up the line. These guys are running roughly in single file. They're kind of scattering through the crowd. They're not really following each other. They just all are heading towards the same place. So you can either use those 2 successes to try and gain on the man who actually did the pendant snatching, or the item snatching. You don't know yet it was a pendant. Or you can use them to give you a bonus on whatever you choose to do to this guy that you've caught up with. Any thoughts as to what you would like to do?
What Ez would prefer to do. Can I grab the guy I just got up with?
Yeah, you can indeed. And what I'll do,
Grab and come to a dead stop.
I'll take those
going
2 extra
off
successes that you've got, and I will basically give you an extra die to roll for those on your attempt to grab him, which, attempting to grab him, of course, is going to be agility and an appropriate unarmed combat skill.
I have
And
unarmed combat brawling, which I mean could include.
Yeah.
yeah, there is a specific grappling skill, but brawling is a very broad skill. It can't achieve the kind of results that you can get with grapple or punching, but it essentially brawling lets you do almost anything in terms of unarmed combat, but with a limit on how successful it can be.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything with expertise or finesse. I'm just grabbing him by the collar and trying to throw him to the ground.
Excellent. So again, we're not going into initiative as yet, but let's just make a roll of this. This is going to be based on agility because you're trying to grab somebody, and that's agility. The result is strength based, but the actual action is agility based. And you can use your unarmed combat brawling dice for this. And question is, does he know you're coming? I think I'm going to have to give him a check to see whether he realizes how close behind him you are. So I am going to roll his alertness. I'm actually going to roll his. I'm not going to do it off his character sheet, because I'm going to give him an extra die. Actually, I'm going to give him an extra 2 dice, if I remember rightly, for the fact that he obviously has perception. I've got his stat block here with his skills, his perception. Oh, actually, I rolled 1 too few dice. So he is going to get. Well, he's got 4 successes already, And he gets to roll another 2 dice, one for the 10 and one because I rolled 1 too few dice. So I'm not going to bother rolling those dice. I'm just going to say, yes, he knows you're coming. And as a result, he gets to try and avoid being grabbed. So for this, even though we're not going into initiative yet, we will need an initiative roll. So let's quickly explain how initiative works in this game. Everybody's base initiative is equal to their reflex attribute, which you can find on your character sheet. It's, for an average person, it's about 5. And then you make an... Hang on, making sure that I'm remembering my own game right, because I do not want to say this and then realise that actually I'm wrong. That would be hugely embarrassing in a game I wrote. Yeah. So we just want to double check this, that it is as I think it is. Yep, I was right. Good. It is an agility roll. I thought it was an agility roll, but I just suddenly had a brief moment as to whether I was allowing it to be done on intuition, and I'm not. So what happens is you make an agility roll, and the number of successes that you get are subtracted from your reflex, and low initiative is obviously therefore good in this game. So I'm going to make an initiative roll for him. He's got a 3 agility dice. He gets to re-roll one of them because he got a 10. Got another 10, but they don't re-roll a second time. So he's just got 3, which makes his initiative at the moment... Where did I put my pen? Fine, okay. Where did I put my pen? Makes his initiative 2.
Sorry.
So for starters, how many initiative dice are you rolling, Alia? How many agility dice rather are you rolling?
4.
Yeah, I had a feeling you had a decent agility. I don't know why I asked you that, because I've got your character attributes in Fantasy Grounds, so I can look it up. Yeah, and indeed, yes, 4 dice.
Yeah, just realised I grabbed the wrong 10-sided die when I was getting my dice out of one of my bags. So I had a bunch of percentiles in there. And I was like, eh? No, that's wrong. Okay, so... 4 agility dice. Remove the successes from my reflex. Cool.
So you're a little bit beefy, so your base reflex is actually worse than his. It's slightly higher.
I have 2 successes, so 4.
2 successes. Okay, so yeah, his initiative is better than yours at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that means is he gets to take a slow action on his attempt to dodge you, which is very handy for him because dodge is a difficult thing to do. A dodge has a base threshold number of +2. So instead of 4, he's rolling to get higher than 6. But he can reduce the time that he's taking by 2 to match up with your initiative. And what that will do is it will lower the threshold number by another point. So he's actually only rolling against 5s. And let me see, does he have a skill in dodging? And the answer is, of course he doesn't. He's just a thug. So he's just rolling his 3 initiative dice to try and get out of your way. And what happens is his successes add to yours or replace your success target. So you need to roll better than him before you actually get him. So his agility roll against a 5 is coming in with only a single success. So in this case, it does him no good whatsoever. He's replacing a success target of 1 with a success target of 1. So he tries to get out of your way rather ineffectually. And you can now make your agility plus brawling roll to grab a hold of him.
Okay. 1, 2. That's a 4 against a 4.
That's against a 4, yeah. So you need 5s and above.
3, 4. That would be 5 successes.
Oh, wow.
6 dice.
Okay. Well, you've definitely got him. Now, this is an attempt to grab him rather than an attempt to damage him, so we won't do any damage, but we will still roll a hit location to find out where you've grabbed him. Mm-hmm. And you will have the opportunity to adjust that. So roll me a d10. Mm-hmm. I have actually got this table built into Fantasy Grounds, but we'll just do it manually to be going on with.
That's a 6.
Okay, so a 6 is a torso result. So essentially what that means is you've grabbed onto the back of his tunic as he's running through the crowd. You can spend a die to adjust, spend a success to adjust that if you want. One success would let you grab his arm instead, if you'd rather grab his arm. 3 successes would let you get a grip on his head.
Nope. The collar is exactly where I was aiming.
Nah.
Okay, so let's have a quick look at the grapple rules. For I did write grapple rules. I wrote them because I knew that they were necessary. I knew they were necessary because in a very early playtest, Drat immediately decided to grapple someone instead of hitting them, forcing me to make up rules on the moment.
Now the big question obviously is: do they take up less space than the D&D grappling rules?
Oh, take away the number you first thought of.
That depends on which edition, because
yeah,
that varies a lot.
Onwards, I guess.
Yeah. Where did I write the damn grappling rules?
I've got a case of the fidgets today. I apologise.
Sorry about the delay here.
Yeah, same job.
Test card.
Ah, there we go. It's in the further complications of combat section. Of course it is. Okay, so the final success level, which is huge. Oh, God. Right, so you essentially create a hold level with these successes, which is how good a grip you've got on the guy. If that hold level drops to 0 at any point, then you lose your hold. That's how he gets away, is his attempts to get away will reduce the hold level. In the meantime, though, yeah, okay. So I actually need to adjust these rules. Looking at them, it should be the extra successes, not the success level. So that means you needed 1 to hit him, and you've got a hold level of 4, which is a pretty solid hold on somebody who is basically means he's got to get 4 successes against you to completely break free of your hold. So while this is happening, what is Corvin doing? You're catching up to this guy at about the same time as Ez grabs him by the back of the neck and just pulls him to a halt, essentially.
I look at Ez, the collared thug, and then look in the direction of the others running. Yeah? Look at Ez. Thief?
Not the main one. The main guy is at the front.
Okay, and then
But he's one of them.
I look to head in that direction.
Okay. Right, so I'm going to say that little exchange is going to give them a 3-point of lead, and also allow Sharon to catch up. So you're back on a par again, but the next guy along still only has a lead of 1. A lead of 2 now, because he's just got an extra 1.
So is the one that Ezra pointed out the next one or the one after?
So it will be the one after. So the next guy now has a lead of 2, which means that the the one who actually took something is now at a lead of 3.
Right. Okay.
The one that Ez has got a hold of is obviously going to be struggling, but with that hold level, I'm not going to bother with any die rolls for that. I'm going to say that you can hang on to him while your companions attempt to catch the main guy. Should we go back to chasing then for the two of you again? Now, are you going to chase after the next one in line, or are you going to head for
I'm going to head
the
for
main
one that
target?
was pointed out.
Sean is aiming for the main man.
Yeah, okay, so in that case you're looking at a success target then of 3. So you need 3 to keep him in sight, and anything more than that will gain on him.
Okay. I love these dice, by the way. I'm so happy with the double
They make
dice.
such
I
a nice
really want
sound.
the D20s. I want the poly set with them. If you can get them again.
I don't know if they make that poly set anymore. I have a feeling that when I got
Don't know.
mine it
They
was
bloody
because it
want
was
to.
being withdrawn.
Okay, what have we got? We have got Kalwin.
I should probably have some dramatic chase music
before
or
I make my
something,
roll,
shouldn't I? Mm-hmm.
at the moment, at present, I can see the guy.
Yes.
What's in front of or around him?
Mostly people. There is a crowd milling around here. People are getting out of their way because they're showing no signs of stopping. But at the same time, it's just now 3 guys running through the square.
Yeah.
They're not wielding weapons or anything like that. So there's people aren't screaming and running. It is just annoyed people getting out of their way to avoid being knocked over.
Can I see a guard?
No, not in this space.
All right, let me roll then and see. Okay, that's 3. Yeah. So I'm just keeping pace.
Okay. And Sharon.
And
Zoran got 4.
4. Okay, so you gain a position.
Thank you, explosions.
So one of the advantages of doing this together like this is, of course, that while it will slow you down, he'll effectively gain a point of lead. If you fail to hit the success target, under other circumstances, if you both fail, you've lost them. You can't see him anymore. So long as at least one of you has seen him, however, the other one will just lose a point of lead, essentially. Because you can still follow where your companion is going, and you'll see them again by going that way. You've got to both lose track of him completely for him really to get away. And Zoran has gained a little bit on this roll. So can I have another roll from you? As this,
as I'm running on this first one, to just keeping pace, I do shout thief, like in their in their direction.
Good move.
Yeah, that's coming through quite loudly, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. I think we are on the. There is something shorting somewhere, I think.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That's not just going to be fan noise, is it?
No, that's not. That's actually that's crackle from. As I said, that's in chat. It's either socket, cable, or jack. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's the traditional congratulations. You're going to be getting your headset soon.
I think I'll replace the audio cable and see if that does it.
Let's hope that does the job.
folk. And then that is 3 successes.
3 successes. So again, you're keeping him in sight, but you're not making any ground on him. And so,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I said
did I'm not sure whether you told me and I missed, or whether you just haven't told me this.
I got
Additional
what the second round, third round.
This-
Sorry, we're on the third round, aren't we?
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
completely zoned out.
It's the
I only took a
second
pill at
the
the start
second
of the
round
session,
after
sorry.
Ez grabbed the other guy. So the third round
Okay,
in
yeah,
total.
haven't rolled it yet. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I spaced out there. My apologies. Nothing to do with the game not being interesting. It's just I took a pill late and it hasn't kicked in yet. Probably shouldn't have taken one today. Oh, okay. Making up for that. Right, give me a sec.
Can S start dragging the guy they have into the alley back into the alley?
Yeah,
We only get-
absolutely.
One explosion off a die, don't we?
Only one explosion off a die. So when you re-roll those 10s,
Okay.
further 10s are
They
just
don't
a success.
cascade.
No.
Just checking. Okay then, that's fine. So that's 5 successes then.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
agility roll is 4.
3 to keep up. 4 drops the lead to 1, overtaking the guy behind him. And 5 catches up to him.
See, I'm now checking if I have any kind of combat skills at all. I have a horrible feeling I don't.
But at this point,
What is
the
it
guy
doing?
behind is going to attempt to interfere. So
Oh, that's a
I'm not
shame
going
for
to.
him.
I'm not going to worry about surprise or anything, and I'm not going into full tactical environment again. I'm just going to roll,
Okay.
going to have an initiative roll to see, just for comparative difficulty of what he's trying to do. Because if you're much quicker than him, it makes his job much harder. So if I can just get a D10, sorry, not a D10. What am I talking about? An agility roll, and the number of successes that you roll is subtracted from your reflex to give you an initiative score.
My reflex is 5, so
Yeah, that's an
Now I've got-
average reflex.
yeah. Now I've got bloody Duran stuck in my head. Thanks for that. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so rolling 4 dice, and we have boom, shake, etc. Okay, so that again, unfortunately, sorry, fish is 5. I have a 0.
5. So you actually get down to the right. Okay. Now this is reason for me to go to the rule book again, not because I don't know how this works, but because it will be best
how this
if I
works.
give you the official by me description of how this works, because a zero and lower initiatives get kind of funky.
Yeah.
Now the question is,
I remember. I don't remember how they get
pages
funky.
they're on. I think I should know this rule book better, really. Initiatives of 0 and under. Okay. No action may ever have an effective initiative of less than 0. Initiatives of 0 or less all take place at 0 on the initiative count. So this doesn't mean that you can't take the action faster. It just means that you'll get all the effects of it being faster without it actually coming any earlier on the initiative count.
Gotcha.
Negative initiatives are assigned as penalties to characters attempting to dodge, parry, or otherwise oppose the action. So if you're really
That
fast,
was
it's
it.
really hard to get out of the way of your attack. This normally comes in high power games like a sort of epic fantasy or superhero type games using these rules, where you could potentially be doing your Wally West thing and be so fast that your opponent just can't even see the blow coming
Yeah.
and has less than 0 chance of blocking.
It's freaky when you recognise rules that you suggested elements of.
We spitballed this and bounced it back and forth between us to get
Yeah.
a result that worked.
This and wounds, I think. Well, initiative and wounds were two biggies because they needed to work.
Yeah,
And they're
they
weird.
really needed to work, and they're not like anything from any other system that I've come across, and
Yeah.
therefore we needed to be absolutely sure on them. So, okay, your initiative at the moment, God, your initiative is 3 points higher than his. Or 3 points lower than his. Yeah, 3 points better than his, however
3
you wish
points
to phrase it.
better.
So what this means is, if he wants to dodge or... sorry, he's not dodging or blocking you. He's the other way around. He is attacking you. He is going to attempt to shove you as you come past him, essentially, to stop you from catching up to the other guy. But because his initiative is lower than yours, your threshold number to avoid him doing that is at -2. Because you're quicker than him.
Please, sir, may I take advantage of this gentleman?
You may.
Can I please use my acrobatics and do a move straight out of Hercules and Xena, and actually just use him as a vaulting board to go airborne and tackle the guy in front of me? The guy I'm actually aiming for.
I'm seeing Jackie Chan in my head. I'm seeing the guy coming towards you to try and block you, and essentially you just going up and rolling over the top of him, coming down on your feet on the far side, leaving him going, where the hell did that guy go?
We're talking Chan Rothrock kind of territory here.
Yeah. So the answer is, you can try that. Now, this is essentially going to be a dual action. The way dual actions work in Obsession is if you do two things at a time, they need to be two things you can do simultaneously. So, for example, you could try and hit somebody with each of your fists at the same time, but you couldn't hit two people with one of your fists.
Yeah.
Because that's physically impossible. Mm-hmm. So this would be two actions. It would be a dodge and the acrobatic roll taking place simultaneously. So that will increase the threshold number of both of those attempts by 2. Yeah. However, the dodge is also reducing by... Well, the dodge is also reduced by 2 for how much faster you are than him.
So I'm coming out standard. Okay.
Yeah. So you're coming out standard there, which in the case of the dodge actually is +2 to the threshold number because all dodges are at +2 because it's tricky to get out of the way of somebody trying to punch you in the face is the principle there. So every time you dodge, you will get a use if you have an appropriate skill for it because dodges are at +2. Blocking is the default level. Parrying and dodging are harder. And therefore, if you do parries and dodges, you get better. Yeah, there are a number of places where dodge appears.
Or various weapon dodging.
Yeah, various melee skills will have dodge in them. If you have the melee skill rather than just the sword or whatever appropriate weapon you use skill, that will include a dodge. And this means also that if, for example, you have got one-handed weapon blocking, you've got a dodge in that skill, so you can default it.
I know how I'm working my dodge. Technically, it's not a dodge, but it is going to stop him and get him to not be in my way because I'm going to stop hitting. I've got kicking, unarmed combat kicking.
So instead of dodging him, you're going to say, "I've got a better initiative than you, and I'm going to kick you before you hit me, before you reach me."
Basically, I'm going to climb. I'm going to use his back leg. The kick is going to be my springboard to get up over him.
Yeah, so he's going to go down, theoretically, from the kick, if it works. And as he's going down, you go over him to carry on your move. So it's still the same acrobatics. It's just that it's instead of as he lunges forward to try and get you, it's as he falls because you've kicked him in the knee.
Yeah, I figure unarmed combat is probably my best bet at this stage, and since I have kicking, that's how I'm thinking of it. And we were talking Savat the other day.
Yes, Savat is quite cool. So this is going to be your action on initiative 0 then, rather than resisting his action on initiative 3. So
this is
that means
let's get the dodge in.
You don't need a dodge because you're acting before he attacks you. If this works and he goes down, then he will never make his attack, and you won't need to dodge it.
Okay, so
this is actually going to be quite a difficult roll So let me just talk through
Okay.
how this works. You're going to have a total of +4 to the threshold number on this. 2 of that comes from striking for a specific purpose, which is a catch-all rule for anything that you're doing that isn't covered by another rule. In this case, you're kicking to get his leg to go out from under him and to let his own momentum cause him to fall. That's striking for a specific purpose. That's +2 to the threshold number. You are also specifically targeting his leg.
Yep.
You know what? I'm going to take that back. I was about to say changing the default target location is +2 to the threshold number, but you're kicking. When you kick someone, your foot is in closer proximity to their legs than any other part of their body. It's probably harder to kick anything but the leg. So forget that. You're only going to be at the +2 for striking for a specific effect.
It's quite good having you were an Aiki bunny, aren't you? Aikido? Or are you Taekwondo?
I was
yeah.
Taekwondo.
You were Taekwondo. No, somebody else was an Aiki bunny. Who I was chatting
So,
to recently. So
just to clarify this a little bit
Handicap
for people who don't know
Hold on.
Obsession at all, an attack will normally default to aiming for either the chest or the head, depending on what type of attack it is. So if, for example, you're making a lunging attack, like a thrust with a rapier or shooting someone with a bow, that's aiming at center mass, so that's going to be aiming for the torso by default, the chest by default. On the other hand, if you're swinging a fist at someone, the natural line of attack, swinging a fist at someone, is going for their face. When you see two people fight, they are usually trying to punch each other in the face. That's the default attack line for that. Also, for swinging rather than thrusting, weapon attacks are aimed for the head. That's the default line. If you want to attack at a different line, and you can choose an arm or a leg or the torso or the head as your attack line, then that's +2 to the threshold number for aiming at a different location. And there's a hit location roll which is based on what your default target location is. So this is going to be an attack at +2 to your threshold number, and I have a decision to make. When he sees you start this move, he can choose to cancel his action and change it to a dodge if he wants to.
This is going to be interesting.
You are 3 points faster than him,
Yeah.
which means that already, if he wants to dodge, his threshold number is at 9. If he cancels his action and changes it, that adds to his initiative, knocking it up to a threshold number of 10, which is impossible. You can't roll higher than 10 on a d10. So essentially what that means is you are so much faster than him, he can't do anything about it. He just comes charging in, you kick at him, and by the time he realizes you're even doing it, the blow has either landed or missed. So I don't have a decision to make. I've run the numbers, and he can't do it. If it was one lower, I could have had that choice of do I roll to see whether I get lucky and roll a 10. But no, in this case, the numbers say you are fast enough that he just cannot stop this attack coming in.
I've been evil.
So,
Oops.
you're looking at a threshold number of 6 for this. So 7s and above are a success. You get a use on your kicking because it's a 7 and above. I say you get a use on your kicking. I'm assuming you're going to successfully kick him because I know what your dice are like. If you hit, you'll get a use on this.
It's going to be agility, isn't it? So it's agility.
It is going to be agility and
yeah?
kicking.
Yep. Right. Well, agility is her single highest stat. So that
Yeah,
4 is
you
the
are
only one.
definitely
No,
a-
I've got 2 4s, but yeah.
Agile bunny.
Okay, so I'm rolling total of 6 dice. So those 2 go down first. So that's a
Now-
no, but a yes. Hang on.
In normal combat,
did you say I needed
I see.
7s? Yeah.
You need 7s, yeah. You need to get over 6.
Right. Okay. So that's a no, a yes, and then
So, Obsession combat is not like games like D&D. It's not a I hit you, you hit me, I hit you, you hit me, eventually one of us runs out of hit points. hitting someone is pretty easy if they're not trying to stop you, and trying to stop you uses their action. So in this instance, this is actually relatively easy. I could have been mean. I could have added an additional +1 to the threshold number for the fact that he's moving quickly and making it more difficult. But since this is the second blow if you count the grapple of this game, and we're all learning the system, I'm just going to leave it relatively easy for this instance. And see just how nasty Drut has been to this poor sod.
4 successes.
Drut has been 4 successes nasty. So, roll me a d10 for hit location.
Okay. I can't remember the hit locations. I'm not looking.
Now, unless you roll 8 or higher, you're getting one of his... Oh, no, sorry, my mistake. Unless you roll 7 or higher, you're getting one of his legs. So you probably won't need to change the hit location, but you can use successes to adjust hit location if you wish.
2.
2?
Yep.
2 is his far leg. So that at default, this is hitting his back leg. For 1 success, you can adjust it to his front leg. Your choice.
Yeah, I will, because that strikes me as unlikely while I'm still keeping up the pace. If I was stopping to fight him, yes. But no, with the move I need to do, that has to be his front leg.
What I was going to say is that he's more likely to fall if you kick his front leg. So he's got a much better chance of resisting the effect that you're striking for if you're hitting his far leg. So yeah, that's one of your successes. So 1 to hit him, 1 to change. That leaves you with 2 additional successes, by my count.
Mm-hmm.
What is your power?
Oh, now this is going to be interesting, because he's got a halfway decent strength, if I recall correctly. It's reasonable.
I believe so.
Power is... total 5. It's not fantastic.
Right. Power. That's average. So you've got a power of 5 plus 2 for the fact that this is a kick, because kicks do more damage than punches.
Yep.
So a 7 is just shy of increasing the base damage increment, which means that you can use those remaining 2 successes if you wish to add 1 to the damage for each of them. That will bring them up to a 9 delivered damage. I will tell you now, his soaking is 9. So that will actually make a difference.
Okay.
If your damage is less than his soaking, he takes a flesh wound. If it's equal to his soaking but less than double, he takes a moderate wound. So if you choose to spend the 2 successes increasing damage, you will actually deliver moderate damage to his leg. The alternative that you can use them for, if you want to, is you can stick with the idea of striking for effect. He's going to make a roll to see whether he falls over. And if you choose to apply them to that instead, you won't do any actual damage to his leg. It'll just be a flesh wound, which is no penalty, no further effect. But he would get +2 to the success target on his roll to stay upright. So you can either hurt him or make it more likely that he falls over. Your call.
I would really like to hurt him, because I'd really, really, really like to try and dislocate his knee.
Because you're vicious.
He's not getting up to chase me if he's got a dislocated patella.
This is very true.
And I suspect anyone with hypermobility in chat has just gone... I just see mentions of Ergo's faces.
I'll tell you now, I've got a lot of mechanics in Obsession. That one I don't have. So we're winging this.
Sorry, Fish.
My knee aches for him. That poor guy.
Having seen the other day, one of the athletes on the Olympics who fell off one of the sliding events, and yes, her kneecap, her patella was off. I was like, I'm fairly sure that's supposed to be central, not.
Yeah, my mum's done that.
Off to one side.
I've never actually done that. My patellas just wiggle, but my knee is crumbling just at the thought.
So, yay, Fish. Also, we need to talk about dislocated elbows at some point, but never mind.
So you're going for the damage.
Right.
Was the net result of that, yeah? Okay,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
yeah, he has a soaking of 9. So as I said, that becomes a moderate wound. So the way wounds work Each wound has a wound type and a value. In the case of a moderate wound, its value is basically 1. And because this is crushing damage, so the initial damage on this is bruising. The way these work out is that the higher damage levels deliver multiple damage types, essentially. So what you've done with moderate damage, you've delivered a moderate bruise to his leg. If you went up to severe damage, then he would have a secondary effect of trauma on top of that bruising, because you'd have hit him that hard. And then beyond that, the next level up, you then get a fracture. So you get lots of bruising, a bit of trauma, and a mild fracture. And the higher up you go, the worse the secondary effects become. This is a system where you track individual wounds rather than just have hit points. So it makes combat unpleasant. And in this case, he has now got a penalty of +1 to the threshold number of anything he does with that leg. Because you have delivered that moderate wound to it.
Cool.
So, just making a note of that. Moderate bruise. I'll call that his right leg. We don't actually know which is his near and far leg. Depends on where in his movement sequence
Which
he is,
side was he
obviously.
coming in at me from?
But I'm going to call that his right leg.
Fish.
Just, he would be coming, let's say he's coming in from your left.
It's probably his right leg then.
But yeah, it depends on where he is in
right
his
leg.
pace, of course, because by definition, when you're walking
it
or running,
does,
you're
but-
putting one foot in front of the other
Yeah.
in sequence. So it's
Yeah.
whichever one was closest to you. So at this moment, we'll call it his right leg.
Yeah.
We could get into arguments over how likely it is, but since we don't have a really detailed description of his movement, right leg will do us quite fine.
I'm really
Now-
sorry. I should not be in this playtest.
By default, there is no rule for likelihood of him falling over, but you did strike for a specific effect. So in addition to that bruising, you've got the effect of trying to make him fall. There's 2 ways I could do this, which is either I could have him make a saving throw to see whether he falls, or I could have him make an attribute check to see whether he falls. The difference between that being whether he is rolling percentile to get under, I think I'm going to call it Constitution, because it's going to be does his leg give out rather than does he avoid falling. You didn't apply the extra successes to it, so I don't need to determine how difficult that is going to make it. Instead, I am just going to call this a base level 3 save. So he needs to roll equal to or less than his constitution on percentile dice. He has a 51 constitution. I'll roll this in Fantasy Grounds so that the numbers will come up on stream. That is taking the piss.
Hang on, I'm in the wrong bleeding window.
He has just rolled 51 to get equal to or less than 51.
Bugger. Well, that's just rude.
So, since he has succeeded in his saving throw, his leg does not collapse out under him and he does not fall. However, because he only barely made it, I am going to house rule, which seems a bit silly on a game I wrote, but I'm going to house rule that in this instance, he will lose his action for that. So he doesn't fall, but he stumbles enough that his intended shove on you does not come across.
So on the other half of this dual action then?
And the other half of this dual action is to see whether you can get past him without losing a point of your of the guy's lead as you're trying to catch up on him. So again, +2 to the threshold number because it's a dual action.
Yeah. Okay, and this is acrobatics.
And
The
this
acrobatic
is
speciality
indeed
of athletics, I'm assuming.
going to be the acrobatic speciality of athletics, along with, I assume, this is going to be agility. I can't see you justifying it as constitution. You could theoretically argue for strength if it was more of a leap and less of a roll, but
Yeah.
acrobatics and agility seems very reasonable for this. Threshold number 6.
Yes.
How many 7s and above can you get this time?
Okay, well, the first 2, there's 1 success, and the other 4. Oh, bloody hell. 5! No
5.
explosions, but 3 of those were 8s.
Okay. I'm winging this. I'm making stuff up as I go along. Now, Obsession is a game where I've tried to put as much into the systems and the mechanics as possible to avoid the GM having to wing things, but no game can cover everything. And particularly with experienced and imaginative players, you get into situations that nobody thought to write a rule for. And obviously this is one of those situations. So instead, the way it works is once you have an understanding of the way the system works, you can make some fairly snap decisions as to how you should handle a specific situation. In this situation, you've got a whole bunch of successes. You made the success. You made the roll. That was cool. You're going over him. You're not losing time from this blow. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm going to say you are losing time from this blow because it's not just the dodge. It was a kick, and the kick, by definition, is going to slow you slightly because your movement has to accommodate that kick. So, by default, he's gaining 1 lead on you. I don't expect him to actually gain that 1 lead, but just to keep things straight for me, I'm going to put that back in on the chart for now. But you've got 4 extra successes to play with. And there are things I'm going to let you do with those 4 extra successes. And you can decide how to spend them. So, for 2 successes,
Right.
I will allow you to overrule the saving throw. And as you go over him, that additional weight and impact knocks this guy to the ground. I will also say that you can gain additional... You can use the momentum of this and the leverage to gain on your opponent, on your target, despite the fact that you've already made that roll and not gained. And what I will do with that is 1 success will let you gain 1 on the lead. And then it will be cumulative. So then another 2, so 3 in total, would let you gain 2 on that lead. But then you'd need a total of 6, which you don't have, to gain another one. So you could gain 2 points of lead and have enough points for that. You also have enough points to knock this guy to the ground and gain 1 point of lead. But then you don't have enough left to do the second point.
Can I don't know whether this was counted as an extra action because it would be part of the acrobatics roll. Which I have been envisioning as basically a vault. At someone I am pushing either on his head or his shoulder to see me over.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can I blow one of the successes to accomplish both things by trying a strength check? Can I shove him hard enough down that I don't lose momentum and can blow the other 3 successes on gaining my 2? So I can have a chance of knocking him down and gain the success.
What you essentially want to do is use a strength check to lower the success cost of knocking him to the ground.
Yeah.
From 2 down to 1 or 0.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I will allow that. Now, this lets me...
Are you 2 enjoying this?
This lets me show off another rule that I've got. Something that should really be in every game, in my opinion, but usually isn't. And that is what... The subject to change, these are referred to as either generated or spawned actions.
Right.
So this is an action that is created by something else that you're doing. In this case, going over the top of this guy is spawning the action of shoving him to the ground. So your dual action has gone to a treble action. It does not retroactively affect the previous 2 actions. They are still at +2. but it's +2 per action. So for this one, this additional action you're putting in goes up to +4. I will allow it, but this is going to be a strength roll against a threshold number of 8.
8. Okay.
And again, using the cumulative cost is a standard thing that I tend to use with this because it balances quite nicely. So
Okay.
1 additional success is going to reduce the cost by 1. 3 additional successes will reduce it by 2. You only need to reduce it by 1 to be able to afford to do this and still gain 2.
Okay.
It's an
8.
interesting, but it's an interesting, if a little bit more complicated, take on the onslaught penalty from White Wolf systems, which act by subtracting dice from your dice pool rather than necessarily impacting the threshold numbers.
Yeah, I deliberately didn't want to modify the dice pool where possible. In this, I prefer to change what you're rolling against than the number of dice you're rolling. But that's a personal decision. It's just how I like to do it. So,
I
can we
quite
have a
like that,
strength
actually.
check then, please?
Okay, so I'm only rolling 3 dice, just for a change. And I need boots. Okay. Don't stop me now. And I've managed to cut the inside of my lip. Ow. Which is fine, because unfortunately it's the same colour as the lipstick, so I'm confused. Thank you for the explosion, because that would not have been as happy. So we have an 8, a 3, and a 10. I am just re-rolling the 10.
So that's 2 successes plus a
I've got
reroll.
2 straight off. And that is an 8. I am taking the smeg.
Okay. So, 1 for success, giving you
Sorry.
2 extra to spend. You only need 1 of them to reduce the cost of knocking him to the ground to 1, which means you can do that and still have the 3 points to gain 2 on this guy. So,
Momentum, it's a friend.
indeed. So that you had already essentially caught up to him. He'd moved 1 further away because of the interference by his friend, and bam, you go over the top and catch up again. So I am going to ask, because we're not in actually initiative rounds at the moment, I am going to ask for another chase roll, so another agility roll from Kalwin. Now,
So
this gets
seeing-
difficult at this point because someone has caught up with these guys. You're now looking at the guy she's leaping over as being the easiest one for you to see, so the one that you're essentially need to keep track of in this situation. So that means that you will need. We will call that a success target of 2 to keep him in line. Anything beyond that, you will do some catching up and also be able to see the other 2.
No, stop this. Corwin's obviously going to keep an eye on them, but also Corwin knows that he is not as fast as everyone else here. So I'm going to describe a situation. You can say yay or nay.
Okay.
With having called out thief, people are also more likely to scatter in front of the thing. So the line in front of us is clearer. So
Yes.
I've got a reasonable view of the line of chase and the bits and pieces to the side of the parted line. Is there a rain barrel of apples, or something like that next to the lead guy, or approximate in path?
I think the answer is almost certainly going to be yes. So just coming back to the map for a second here. This is taking place just outside, just here, just outside the entrance to this alley. This is where they were headed for.
Mhm.
And I think I am going to give it a very good chance of there being something in the mouth of the alley that would be appropriate. So how I'll do this, since this is a dice pool system and I like to use the dice pool whenever possible, I'm going to give this 3 dice. If I get any successes, there's something there. Additional successes will make it a slightly better something.
I wondered what that was. I just jumped because the dice came swooping in from the side.
Yeah, that's unfortunately a 1, a 2, and a 3. So, in fact, it's completely clear. The dice do not like you today.
Cool. All right then. Then this just makes this a bit more, a little bit more awkward. Kalwin goes sod this. Drops to a knee, pulls out his bow, and aims at the hamstring of the lead guy.
Okay, now
Because I am aiming, I'm aiming to the side between legs because I.
It's all about the legs today.
Yeah.
The question here is how, and I'm going to go with a group decision here because this is your game as much as it is as it is my game. How realistic do we want our game to be? Because in a realistic game, what you're going to be doing is dropping to one knee, drawing your bow, and stringing it.
Yes.
Which obviously, by the time you've done that, unless Drat is doing her thing, the guy's going to be out of sight. So, as a group, do we want to enforce things like not carrying a bow strung? Or do we want to be a little bit loosey-goosey with things like that?
He might have sprung it whilst he was running around the building way back earlier.
Could have strung it
As he was moving.
Yeah.
I know I might be going into a fight. String
because
on the run.
because also the
This
bow
is
is
a
my
good point.
primary weapon. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went past the building, didn't you?
Yeah.
You didn't have to do it on the floor. As you were walking past, you could literally have braced it against the wall, pushed string, and that wouldn't have cost you more than a pace.
Because whilst I didn't actually say it, the aim was that I was going to be standing at the other end of the alley holding the bow.
You're trying to get there, so
you would have strung it somewhere along the line.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I will allow that you have indeed strung your bow.
I'm also going to say one quick thing. Like on my character sheet, I know I've got long bow, like both long 4, short 3. I actually want that the other way around.
Okay.
Because I realise with hunting in woodlands and such, I am more likely my hunting bows are more likely to be a short bow than it is a long bow.
Yeah, fair enough. I am fine with that.
Gamekeeper, so I'll swap those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The maths during character creation works exactly the same. It's just which one you prioritise. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so that's fine. Cool. I have short bow. I have 4 in short bow. I also have 4 in target shooting for both marksmanship bow.
Yes.
So that's why I think I can do this.
Yeah. Indeed.
Right. We got the sniper.
So, yeah. I've not actually got this written down anywhere, but in my head, the way the target shooting skill works is that you can roll that, provided that you are actually aiming your shot, you can roll that and use those successes to adjust hit location without having to take them from the successes on your to hit roll. So that means essentially that you can use that you can use however well you hit to increase damage without having to worry about adjusting the hit location because your target shooting is going to adjust the hit location for you. Better chance of doing high damage to the place you want. And also it can be used to negate the penalties on small targets if you're not shooting at a person.
Yeah. Okay. So what and how do you want me to roll?
Okay. So
is this agility?
I
plus
think
short bow?
this is going to be agility plus your short bow. Now, I am going to want an initiative on this because I said actually let me rephrase that. I'm going to rewind slightly. I'm going to give you a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Obsession increases the difficulty of any shot that is not first aimed. So what this means is you spend an action aiming and then an action shooting. If you don't do that, a snapshot is done at +2 to the threshold number without aiming.
Yeah.
Once you're aimed, you can keep on firing without having to aim again. But that initial taking a bead on your target takes you an action.
Right.
So in this instance, if you take the time to aim, there will be an initiative roll to determine whether or not he can duck into the alley and out and behind cover before you can shoot.
Right.
So you have a choice of relying on your initiative roll or taking the +2 to the hit to the threshold number of the strike by making this as a snapshot. And a snapshot you unfortunately wouldn't be able to use target shooting on.
Okay, then it has to be aim though.
Okay, so an initiative roll, that is agility, and the number of successes is subtracted from your reflex. And I will do the same for him.
So that is 3.
That's interesting. How did I
As an
manage
initiative of 3.
to adjust his initiative somehow? I just put my book down on top of the numpad on my computer. That was a bad idea. I just set that guy's agility to -0.
Works for me.
I
Right,
very much
fortunately, I
will
knew-
not do that, Drat. The strong crossbody sling R. I've watched enough Luminec videos to know that is not.
No.
That is like the best way
Okay.
to one of the best ways to annoy him.
No. He's literally,
exploding.
That kid literally
Oh, wow.
got ordered off the range when he did that.
My dice are coming in
Yeah, I watched-
extremely well here.
I watched this
So,
no, don't do that video like 2 weeks ago or something.
Mm.
On Luminec.
Don't dry fire your bow for the
Yeah.
love of God. I remembered not to. I couldn't remember quite how bad it was, and then I saw the slow-mo on that, and it was,
Yeah.
oh, that's why not.
his initiative
That's it. Do you
has
like
come
your
in
eyes?
at 2.
Ah.
So, fortunately, this is not as simple as the initiative in most systems, where just you go on your initiative. As I've already mentioned, or sort of referred to earlier on, you can choose to adjust your initiative. You can slow an action down to make it easier to do, or you can speed it up, making it harder, but happening first. So, for example, in the case of Drut's kick against that guy, if he'd had a better initiative than her, she could have still have adjusted her initiative down to still strike before him, but it would have been a much harder blow. In this case, he is moving into cover on 2, which means that if you reduce your initiative by 1, adding 1 to the threshold number, then you would be shooting as he goes behind cover. And I would give him partial cover for that. The hit location roll would determine whether or not you actually hit him, or whether you hit the wall instead. If I deem that the body part that you hit is behind a wall, then you're not going to hit. If you reduce your initiative by 2, which would be +3 to the threshold number, then you would be firing when he's completely, or shooting, I mustn't say fire, shooting when he's completely out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a demo of a fire basket arrow the other day, by the way. They are fun.
They are fun. They are fun indeed.
Mm.
So just by adjust the initiative by 1 to get a threshold number in. Would that increase the threshold number to?
So the threshold number increases by 1 for each point that you drop your initiative. So 1 would be you shooting as he goes around the corner. So there's a chance of you hitting, of you missing, but you can take the shot.
Sure. Yep.
If you dropped it by 2, that would be
That'll
+2
be
to the shot, but he's still out in the open when you do it.
Okay.
It's a matter of which you think you've got the better odds on, really.
Cool. So at -1, it's 5 ups. It's 6 ups, and at
6 ups, yeah.
-2, it's 7 ups.
Since you have taken the time to aim, you can use your target shooting. So I'd be inclined to just drop it by 1, because your target shooting should let you pick a location that is still not behind cover.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at 6 ups on agility plus short bow.
Yes, indeed.
4, 5, 6.
And you are not far enough to need to worry about any range penalties here.
I should hope not with a hunting short bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 successes.
Oh, wow. Okay, it feels a little bit redundant, but let's make the target shooting roll, shall we?
Sure.
Now,
So
this is a skill roll rather than a combined roll, so you're only rolling your ranks in target
I
shooting.
am only rolling my ranks, which is 4. And is this at a higher difficulty as well?
No, this is just a normal roll.
This is just so do I get a skill use on short bow for the
You will get a use on short bow, yeah, because you took a difficult shot.
And the Mickey has officially been taken.
4 successes and an explosion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so give me a D10 for hit location.
Something tells me
Well, that makes
lack
up,
of rolling
that makes
last
up for the
time is coming
for the
back to
luck
bite
roll
us.
not going the way.
Yeah, all of your dice luck has been waiting for this one roll.
Yeah, look, this is what I'm trained for. So
Yeah.
I mean, you'd hope the dice agree.
yeah. All right, so
Surname needs to be Fairburn.
Now, this
I need
my
to-
understanding
yeah.
just to clarify, my understanding was you were basically trying to shoot him in the leg to stop him escaping rather than kill him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
my
that
aim
should have
was
made
to
your
hammer
shot.
him.
Yeah, that should have made your shot harder, but I forgot to apply it, so that's my mistake. I'm not retconning anything here. You have still hit that well.
6 is the hit location.
6 on a leg shot is near leg, so you don't even need to adjust it. You've hit the leg. You could adjust that using your target shooting to the near leg or near leg. Quick point, I've got an advanced hit location system that is not in general use for this. It's for people who want it. That has 26 hit locations. So in that instance, those would be different parts of the leg. You could specifically home in on the knee, for example.
Yeah.
But for the simplified version, that's just hitting him in the leg.
Lower leg. Like pretty much anywhere on the leg, since he is running, will basically trip him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I do love that this is a
Okay, so you don't need to spend any of your actual to hit successes on increasing damage, but I need the stats for your bow.
Yeah.
Which bow did you take in terms of its pull?
Yes, I should determine that. I'm a stocky guy. Yeah, no, I would have taken the 35 kilo pull.
Okay.
So yeah, hunting bow at 35 kilo.
Ask that. Let me just take a quick look. And oh yeah, more than sufficient. Okay. Where your ability to use a particular bow is based on your character's press capacity, which is like 57. So yeah, you can easily fire a 35 kilo bow. Shoot a 35 kilo bow. Must stop doing that. Someone who does archery is going to see this one of these days and swear at me.
Only slightly. But yeah.
And here we go. Right, 35 kilo hunting bows. So that has got a delivered damage of 10 plus 2. So that means your base damage is 10, and for each success that you put into additional damage, it goes up by 2. And you got, was it 6 successes?
So I had 5 on the target and 6 on the
6 on the actual attack. Yeah. So you can. That's enough that you can double that up to 20 delivered damage, which compared to his 9 soaking is a severe wound. So a severe wound delivers 2 points of penalty. So adds 2 to the threshold number of anything he does that requires him to use his leg. And absolutely has a very good chance of having him fall over at this point. Again, I'm winging this slightly because I did not put in a rule for people getting hit in the leg while running.
Can we say then that I do enough to injure his leg and use the extra successes to make him fall over?
What have I started?
Yeah, so you to do. Oh, hang on. Yeah, let me recalculate that for a moment. Yeah, your base damage is higher than his soaking, so straight away that's doing a moderate wound. You need. So that's from 9 up to essentially up to 17. So 4 successes would put it to a severe and still leave you 2 successes left over. I think that is not unreasonable to use those 2 successes to increase his chance of falling over.
Rather than severe, can I say that it's a moderate wound and then use the rest of the successes?
Just use all the rest of the successes for making him fall over. Okay, again, I probably should have said, well, if you're deliberately trying to knock him down, that's striking for a specific effect, which is the additional +2 to the threshold number. But again, sort of my mistake, and we're learning this as we go. Yeah. So I am going to allow that for this time. In future, I think I'm going to need that. It's my fault because I should have queried that when you said you were trying to hamstring him. I should have said, so is this striking for a specific effect? And I didn't. So we will allow for that. He has taken a moderate wound to his leg, and he has now got to make a saving throw, which is not going to be a normal level 3 saving throw, because you're using additional successes putting into this. So the first of them will knock it up to a level 4, another 2 will knock it up to a level 5. You haven't quite got enough to knock it up to level 6, but he's still rolling against half of his constitution to avoid falling over. So that means that he has got to get 26 or less on a percentile roll. And he rolls 85, which last time I checked is not 26 or less.
Oh no.
So, with a most definite cry of pain, he tumbles into the alley. He does sort of disappear out of sight into the alley, but he does so in an obvious downward trajectory and with your arrow sticking out of his leg. I think I'm going to say 2 things here. Firstly, I am going to say that seems like a reasonable place to stop today's session. We are dropping out of... We never went into actual combat, but we are dropping out of this chase sequence now. The guy at the lead will get away, but he's not the one who snatched the item. You've got 3 members of this 4-man thieving ring at your mercy now. And next time we play, we will pick up with you determining what you are going to do with them. Apologies slightly to Alia for the fact that your early success kind of knocked you out of the action from that point onwards, because you were just kind of sort of holding the other guy. You're definitely a victim of your own success there.
The other guy over here, and is just watching this with amusement.
But all 3 of you have picked a target and taken them down, and it's all gone extremely well. You've captured 3 members of a thieving gang. So well
I
done.
don't expect it to go this well in future, but
No, I think this was any and all success like we were supposed to have last time. Hitting now because we didn't actually do all that much rolling.
I mean, that being said, we have optimized to a certain extent for the things that we do. I have 8 dice in my pool to fire a bow. I have a target pool
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
4.
It is.
I mean, I had 6 dice to
Yeah.
grapple that guy.
Uh.
It's just, and I have 4 agility and 4 constitution.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty well.
The system is set up so that the things that you're supposed to be able to do, you can usually do if there's nothing stopping you. It's based more on the idea that you will have to oppose someone else than that just doing a thing is difficult. So it's not one of those things where, so many games you have this unexpected, you swing or try and use a skill and it doesn't work, even though it's a skill that you're skilled in. And I've tried to avoid that, and instead I've leaned into the idea of circumstances or opposition, raising the success target so that you just need to roll that many more dice. And raising success targets is particularly effective against unskilled people, of course, because they're relying on rolling 10s if the success target is higher than the number of dice they're rolling. It starts to get very unpleasant at that point. And the mix between that and threshold number gives for a very versatile difficulty system. It's a little more complex than just add or remove dice or increase or decrease difficulty number, but it is very versatile. And I hope we've seen today that that versatility gives us a lot of options to play with. So I would like to thank all 3 of you for playing. I have enjoyed running this for you. You have done exceptionally well today. And thank you for seeing a robbery in progress and going in and doing something about it.
Yes.
Not just going, oh, look, that guy's being robbed and walking off, which would have left me with rather less plot for the session. Thank you to everybody who is watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. The system that we are playing is available on Drive-Thru-RPG, the Obsession Core rulebook. I can't really recommend it. It's a very good system, but a very bad book. I'm trying to rewrite the book, to revise the book into a more usable form. And the more good feedback I get from this campaign, and the more that I'm getting to actually run Obsession in this campaign, the more likely it is that will get done and go out. This campaign is slated to run on the first Tuesday of every month. If we can't do a particular Tuesday, I will try to reschedule a different session in that month. And either way, the originally slated session, unless we can't do it because it's me that can't make it, I will put a prep stream on in its place. So there will be a stream related to this campaign on the first Tuesday of every month, with luck. And hopefully it will be an actual play. If not, we'll reschedule the actual play. So hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope we will see you again. Would any of you lovely players like to tell the folks at home about something that you have got coming up that you're doing? Let's start with Chrono.
Yes, sir. So you can find me over at twitch.tv/Chrono Magistrate, where I do variety games, usually of the cozy and wholesome kind. Take those categories with a little pinch of salt, depending on the game, because some of the visual novel that we are currently doing has gone really dark. So you can join me for the storybook narrative of Beacon Pines, as I carry that on Thursday at 4 p.m. GMT, and then usually I stream on a Wednesday afternoon.
And Olia.
Yes, I stream on Sundays on schedule and occasionally on a Wednesday. I stream The Witcher 3 at twitch.tv/the_Busky. I have just rescued Dandelion. He is safe now.
For the time being.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Yeah. And next stop is not at the start of next stream, but probably near the end of next stream will be Skellige. The game keeps trying to tell me to go there. Eventually, I'll have to give in. Catch me on socials at the Busky, usually not an underscore. Where normally I post progress updates if I've written anything. I haven't actually been writing that much these last couple of weeks because school's been killing me. But
Well, busy.
you know, yeah. And when school's not killing me, I'm kind of usually watching Eurovision. But hopefully there'll be a progress update next weekend. Because I should have a bit more time.
And last but certainly not least, I left you till last because your next stream should involve me, and I'm big on self-promotion. I like that.
Yes. you
So,
are big on
Dratakalp, what have you got coming?
Well, apart from assorted nervous breakdowns this week, I am going to be multiplaying on Thursday from, let's call it 7, if you're going to be awake.
I shall try to be awake.
Yes, 7 or 7:30 if Fish isn't awake. And it's either going to be Elite Dangerous or it's going to be Divinity Original Sin. The original plan was Divinity Original Sin. However, there's a community goal in Elite
We
Dangerous.
are in the middle of a
and we are
CG,
murdering pirates a
so
lot.
lots of pirate murder going on.
Yeah, and both of us have new ships to play with. I'm almost ready to debut my Kestrel.
Oh, the Kestrel is such a good ship.
I'm hoping it will be. I'm going to be engineering it. I'm going to try and engineer the thrusters as high as I can get them because I'm a fool. I fully expect to actually fly through planets a lot. The other thing I am going to be doing, so that's this Thursday from 7, and then on Monday I am reading a Sherlock Holmes short story. Well, Sherlock Holmes story in book club. I'll be doing. Ow, sorry. Ow, sorry. How the hell did I just manage to break a nail? Good grief, Drut.
They break it at
Sheer
worst
skill.
times.
Oh, it's just me. Today is just clot. Yeah, I will be doing reading a Scandal in Bohemia on Monday for my book club from 6:30. Damn it. Apologies to anyone who actually knows how to speak German or can do an accent. I can't, but we'll probably give it a go anyway. And then I am going to be
walk you through some pronunciations if you want it.
Oh, hey, there are probably going to be some queries because very little German, if I recall correctly, but there is a lot of English spoken with German accent because the King of Bohemia is an idiot. And then I will be streaming something game-wise in my own right. Might be Elite Dangerous again. Depends if Fish is around for multiplayer. It may be Elite Dangerous. It may be Divos. Maybe the delayed Divos stream. But that will be from, I think, 8:30 is usually a good guess.
Cool.
Yeah. And,
okay.
yeah, as I said, nervous breakdowns.
And I will be back on this channel on Monday for my traditional Mapper Monday stream. Unfortunately, I don't really have a time for Mapper Monday. It is very much depending on when I get up, what my insomnia is doing, and when Drat is streaming. So it could be Monday afternoon UK time, or it could be after Drat's stream. And next week, I will either be continuing with the map of Kalwin's Bay. I've mapped enough of the city to give them their docks today, but I'm still working on the rest of the city. Or I might put that aside temporarily while I put some work into the map that I need for one of the spaceships in my Traveller game, which is not an on-stream game, unfortunately, but is run through the Hobby Gamers International Discord. and one of the players has got a slightly customized lab ship that needs a map creating. But one way or another, on Monday, unless something goes dreadfully wrong, I shall be on this channel doing some maps.
No. Don't give it any ideas. Do not give fate any ideas about unless something goes dreadfully wrong. Have you seen this week?
Fate doesn't need ideas. It's quite capable of going dreadfully wrong without me.
You don't need to poke the bear, though. Even if it rampages it on its own.
Fate only rolls a D3, remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, thank you everybody again for playing and for being here, and hopefully we will see you next time. And until we do see you again, may your dice be hot and your characters cool.